What up, everybody? It's your man damednydc. Two mics up, man. We back, and look, I'm just gonna get into it tonight, man, because rocking with me on the other mic, I have a very special guest, celebrity guest, and she's really starting to appear in a lot of things and in a lot of places. And I'm really honored that she took time out of her busy schedule to sit here with not only me but with us tonight. And we're gonna dig in, to tonight's guest. We're gonna get in her business. We're gonna go ahead and chop it up. We're gonna just go get all of it in her business and learn more about tonight's guest, the amazing, the incomparable, the talented Miss April Hale. April, thank you so much for taking time out for joining us this evening. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are
Look,
you?
look, I'm blessed. I'm blessed when I get to sit here and talk with someone like yourself. You have really, I guess, if you will, starting to take over by storm. You are starting to really show up and show out. And I must say, you really caught my attention in two pieces recently. Saw you in the Nightmare Neighborhood Moms,
Mhm.
Lifetime joint. My wife, yeah, she makes me sometimes sit in the corner,
Teresa,
be, hey,
blame it on the wife. Blame it on the wife. I got you.
hey, look here. I know a lot though. I like Element. They be having some really good joints. Happen to see
Yeah.
you in that, and also in Queen Rising.
Yeah.
Another joint that just came out recently, and you're really, before we get into that, I want to kind of take a step back, if you will,
Mm.
because like I said earlier, I want to jump in your business real quick and get to know you better and get to know April better. So we have a little segment, like we like to call quick hitters. We saying hello, April. So I want to ask you, as a child,
Mhm.
what did you want to do when you grew up?
Growing up, I wanted to be a nurse.
What?
Uh, yeah, I thought I wanted to be a nurse because I was like, I want to take care of people, work in a hospital, and take care of the sick, and my family gets sick. I want to help them. But as I got older, and classes started to develop and math got harder,
Uh huh.
science got harder. I realized, you know what? I'm a left brainer.
Creative.
I'm a creator, and that's for those right brain people.
Yeah.
I struggled in math, science, all that stuff, and I was like, oh, you got to have a lot of that. So I had to shift.
Yeah. Look, there's nothing wrong with that. At least you caught on early on, and was
Mhm.
able to make that pivot to do that. Because I'm not creative at all. I couldn't. I was that kid in class when back in my day we used to write the little stick figures in the book and we used to flip the pages.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was my creativity. That was the height. That was the
Hey,
height of my creativity. No, that wasn't my style. But fast forwarding though, so we talked about your childhood, right? So now look, we grown, we talking grown and sexy. Every
Mhm.
now and then, maybe after a hard day on the set, maybe out there, doing on your grind, going out for these roles and everything. You sit down at the end of the day, and I'm not going to assume that you're a drinker because we shouldn't. But if you were to partake in the beverage, would
Mhm.
it be red or white?
Okay, so I will start by saying I am not a drinker.
Okay.
And I never have. I mean, I've tasted things over the years, the peer pressure from your friends. Hey, try it, it's good. No, it tastes like Robitussin. Okay.
Okay.
But I think if I were a drinker, I would be a white wine drinker.
Hmm. And why does, just out of curiosity,
Mhm.
why do you think that white would be more your style?
You know, I've always heard that red wine drinkers are like wine connoisseurs. They
Oh,
know more about wine. I think it typically tends to be stronger, and I've heard red wine drinkers are early risers. I'm a
hmm.
night owl.
See,
Hey, and I I don't know if it's
so
just a myth, but I
I
was
think
like,
it's a myth. Cause see, I love red wine. right? But see,
Okay.
I too, like you, see, I'm a night owl.
Okay.
Don't ask me to do anything, even like work. Like most people, like 10:30, 11 o'clock is kind of when
Yeah.
I'm really starting to kind of really come out of my slumber.
Same here.
You see, I work better in the evening, but yeah, I think it's a myth. But because
It
you
might be.
know, yeah, I think it's a myth. I think so.
Yeah.
With that then, right?
Uh,
So now that being grown in section, everything, you know, your success is growing, and you're showing up and showing out, like I said. But I really want to know, like, what is it that motivates April to continue, to strive and put out, that shining light that you give in your work, that we see on screen.
um. Okay. Well, first off, what motivates me is being the desire to be a small part of history,
Wow.
to make an impact on people
Mm,
in some way if I can. I mean, of course, the career that I chose, could potentially change my life financially, and that's
mm,
all great, and that's and I get to do what I love to do and get paid for it. I mean, that was initially that was
mm.
that was one of the first things, but
Right.
but to make an impact, in a way, and to influence others, because I've had a lot of people that I've known that say, "Wow, you inspire me. I thought I could never do that, but you make me want to pursue it." And those things just give you the warm fuzzies. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Right.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I love that, and I can, I guess that all ties back into you, like that wanting to be a nurse, that caregiver or that community
yeah,
is ingrained in you, and I can see that, I can hear that just in how you explain that. So,
yeah.
thank you for allowing us to kind of dig in your business, get in your bag for a little bit, but now
Of
we
course.
want to get into the meat. Like, what was
Mhm.
that thing that really got you into acting, or how did you get into acting?
Well, I feel like the first feeling I got, I feel like, was like every time I went to a movie theater and saw like a
Mhm.
really, really good movie, and especially if I saw an actor that reminded me of myself, even an older version of myself. Um, the feeling that it gave, I wanted to be able to do that for other people, and I
Mm.
felt that I had it inside me. You know what I'm saying? And it was just
Mhm.
this desire. I was like, I wanna do that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
So that
right.
that was the initial spark. But growing up, my mom, she writes on the side, and she wrote some plays back in the day that I was a part of, and so I was able to get into that, and then I got into college and started. I did plays and short films and things like that, so that kind of kick-started that journey.
Yeah, that journey. So you,
Mhm.
you mentioned plays, and I always, I like to ask when you have the presence of someone like yourself,
Mhm.
what is it like for you? Like, would you prefer to continue to do more, maybe stage or live work, because the energy is different? Like, you feed off of that energy, or do you find, like you say, your creative side of being able to develop a character, if you will, is that really more like really what suits you where you are right now?
Yeah, I feel like on camera suits me better. Um, I do love the energy that stage plays bring, and you get that
Hmm.
feedback from the audience. But I feel like just the intimacy of the screen and being able to really dig into the character and not to broaden yourself so that the audience can feel you. You want to be able to do it in the small moments. That's what resonates better for me. Yeah.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, I can see it. 'Cause like I say, the couple of pieces that I've been able to see of you recently, like you have this persona, if you will,
Mhm.
that is really it's naturally grabbing, if you will. Like when you watch, you have to watch and pay attention. So if y'all
Mhm.
haven't been following April, y'all need to make sure you start following her. And I want to know then, with your career, on the uprise, who is, or maybe who was, your biggest inspiration,
Mhm.
in acting.
I say my mom,
Wow.
because it was yeah, she was an influence because of her creativity and her writing and being able to be a part of some of the plays that she put on back home at church. Um, it was inspiring, and she's always very encouraging about it because she actually wrote my first short film.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she wrote it, and
Okay.
yeah, so it kind of I guess it's a hereditary gene there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Go,
So yeah,
mom. All right.
I'm a mommy.
All right. Shout out to moms. I love that. And I mean, I love it because that's something that a lot of times you don't hear.
Yeah.
That spark. So all right, shout out to mom putting in
Mhm.
work and passing that along, passing that baton along,
Yeah.
to April.
Mhm.
And I think as a fan, right, April,
Mhm.
we have the pleasure of sitting back sometimes, and we get caught up in the glitz, the
Mhm.
glamour, and
Mhm.
everything that's the exterior, if you will.
Yeah.
But I'm curious for you, what what is this something that maybe we as the audience we don't see that maybe is a big negative, or hurdle for you as an artist?
You know, I think the biggest that kind of sticks out for me is when other artists or friends don't support each other.
Mm,
Yeah, because I've seen that, and I've seen those who do as well, and it feeds that energy. But there's also those who feel like there's not enough room for us all, and there really is,
mm,
especially now. I mean, all these streaming services
true.
and Black people. I mean, we popping like, come
True,
on,
true.
like,
Yeah, come on now. Keep it real. Keep it real.
let's keep it real, and there's just so many roles, so many shows, so many movies, and everybody, there's enough for everybody out there. So I just feel like I've seen some people show a bit of jealousy towards other
Wow.
actors or entertainers in whatever field
Hmm.
that they're in. But yeah, I feel like that's the biggest hurdle because as Black people, we tend to feel like there's not enough room, and there is,
And
So
I like how you say, because I mean I've had the pleasure talking to a few others, and similar thing, somewhere on the line of, and maybe it was during the pandemic too. So
yeah,
I'm pretty sure things had dried up, if you will,
yes,
during
they
the
did.
pandemic. Yeah, right. So put that on cyber. But now coming out though, are there spaces and places now? Because we know about L.A., we know about Atlanta now. Tyler Perry and the work that he's doing. But are
Oh
there
yeah.
other hotbeds now, like that are really popping up? Across the country. Where we're seeing more artists of color really
Mhm.
being able to shine that maybe a lot don't know about, because those two are the first two that pop out to me always, LA and
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yes, for sure, for sure. There's some other areas. I mean, they may not have as much opportunity, but it's starting to grow. North Carolina has always had a space for us as well,
Hmm.
and also in New Orleans. A lot of films being done now that way. And hey, let me shout out my hometown. I'm from Memphis, and look, Memphis is starting to grow in that arena because I actually did a movie in Memphis
That's right.
as well.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was really great. And they're actually filming Young Rock in Memphis. And
Okay.
a lot of people don't know that they've been filming Young Rock in Memphis, and I think it's going on a third season or something like that. But yeah, they had another
That's what's
show
up.
prior to that. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like the South is starting to pop.
Okay, okay. Look at the South was on the rise again. And hey, speaking of Memphis, and like I mentioned earlier, one of your films, and I want to ask this too, because acting experiences, like like your recent ones, Nightmare, Neighborhood Moms, which that was ill. You've been on General Hospital, the Upshaws, and you mentioned Memphis. I want to say Queen Rising was there, and filmed in Memphis. Um,
Yes.
out of all of these experiences, though, like which one stands out the most to you, or maybe means the most to you? And I think I know now,
Yeah.
but okay, talk about it, and why, really talk about it and why.
Yeah. So I will say there's a special there's something special about each project that I've been in, but I will say Queen Rising being shot in Memphis and
Hmm.
being cast in Memphis and the whole crew was Memphis based. That was special to me in itself. Um, but also I got to do my own stunts like fully.
What?
Yes, the first time that I
What?
fully, yeah, fully done my own stunts. Um, I've done stunts in some other movies, but not the hard parts. They'll bring in a stunt double, and I'm
Right.
like, okay, I can handle that. But but in this movie, they trained us to do our own stunts, and
Mm,
that that feels like an accomplishment because I'm like, oh, I can do this, and I'm still alive
okay.
to tell the
Right,
story.
Rich. I
But
love
yeah,
it. So
that was a special one.
so like what was that part like for you? Because that's really stepping out of your box as an
Yeah,
actress.
yeah.
And like what kind of training, did you have to go through to be able to perform your own show? Like how long was that training and like how intense did it really get for you? Like at one point did you even think like, all right, look, I'm not doing this no more.
You know what? I never felt like I'm not doing this because it's not. It wasn't. I mean, I wasn't jumping from a plane or anything like that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but yeah, but we did get trained, by a kickboxer at a gym, and then for one other scene, judo training. So it wasn't extensive. It didn't last,
Okay.
longer than a day,
Okay.
but there was choreography involved
Mm,
in that, and there could be a little bit of danger involved in that, just depending if you don't do it right.
right.
So yeah, yeah. So it wasn't too crazy. It was safe. It was safe.
Got to keep that money maker, right? We not
You
gonna
know,
get too crazy. Yeah,
right now.
I feel you. I feel you on that. So you know, on in that movie, well, not that movie, Nightmare, Nightmare Neighborhood Moms, right? So watching that, and I went back and actually watched some of it before, filming again, just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
Your role as Charlotte in the movie,
Mhm.
right? And without really giving it for those who maybe haven't seen it, her role was very critical in that movie. And I'm just curious for you, looking at that first, but also in your other roles, like how do you dig in and really develop and prepare your characters to bring them to life? Because when you bring them to life, they're powerful and they're real. So I'm
Mhm.
just curious to know how you do that.
Well, I try to tap in to my own personal story. So
Mm,
I try to find something personal that relates to the character, something personal that relates with me. And in particular, with Charlotte in Nightmare Neighborhood Moms, Charlotte's character, she's the protagonist. She's the nice one,
hmm.
and our villain was really a villain. She was jealous. You know what I'm saying? You saw.
Woo, it's off the chain.
Right. And I feel like everybody has experienced a Bonnie in their lives, the villain.
Yes, yes,
Everybody's experienced one of those.
yes.
And so, like, initially going into this audition, my my initial reaction would be to clap back at her. If
Hmm.
she says this to me or she looks at me funny, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna say it back and I'm gonna give you a look.
Right.
But I want to shout out Julian Irons, homegirl. She coached me on that
Mm,
audition, and it really helped because she reminded me, in real life we don't always clap back at people, maybe subtly, but we
true,
don't always just come for you know what I mean?
true,
Because
true.
certain personalities are strong, and we don't want to show out, or we don't want to
True,
embarrass ourselves,
true.
so we try to hold things in a lot. you
Mhm.
know Sometimes when you're auditioning, you want to say, oh, I would do this. No, you wouldn't always go
And
for the guts, like, so
that's
that
true.
really helped, thinking about how I have handled certain situations in real life with the Bonnies that I've met.
And it's true because I know my wife and I we sitting there like, wait a minute. No, girl, no, she didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, you're right. There are situations that we've all been in at times like that. Because
Yeah.
when you mention that, I can think of times where things have happened, or sometimes my wife she'll just touch my hand.
Hmm. Exactly.
And it's kind of give me that. Okay. Or there's
Let
been
it
times
go.
where something, and I'll just, I might step in front of her or just kind of nudge her and just
Yeah.
kind of give her that look, and it's true,
Yeah.
because you're, I don't want to say we've trained, but I don't even know if it's desensitized sometimes now, but we've become so aware of so much of this now
Yeah.
that you do actually train yourself. You know what? Maybe this situation is not the proper situation to sound off and buck off, if
Right.
you will. So, and that's how it was in the movie, watching it now. Because, like I said, my wife and I, we was amped up. It was like,
Uh,
wait a minute.
Is she gonna?
Hey, what did? Wait a minute, girl. I know you gonna say it, right? Yeah. Real
Wait,
talk.
wait a minute, you black woman too. Like you gonna let her?
Look, I mean, yeah, it was real talk. But you, like I said, you really brought that visual to life. And on the flip side of that,
Hmm.
speaking of life, you know,
Hmm.
in today's society, I think so much is going on.
Yeah.
A lot of times people say that art imitates life, if you will. And I'm curious from your opinion, being an artist, being an actress, do you think that maybe TV or cinema today portrays life accurately, or is it more of a negative influence?
Both.
Okay.
Um, I think in some ways it portrays it accurately. Unfortunately, there is a lot of violence in the world.
Mm,
There's a lot of crime and things like that, and TV and films they show that, right? We've
yeah.
seen it around us. We've seen uh, drug deals, all kinds of things happen in real life that
Right.
we see on TV and film. Um, and sometimes when it comes to love stories, like it portrays it in a very positive way, and sometimes it's real. But I feel like the negative side to it being portrayed on TV and film is that when it's something negative, they take it to the 10th power.
Good point.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, and I get why they do that. It's how you hold your audience. You don't want
Right.
to be
Right.
bored. It's
Right.
what keeps us turning it back. All
Right.
right, you know
Keep
what I
coming
mean?
back. Keep coming back for more.
Exactly, keeps us coming back for more. But the negative side to that is that some minds, especially really young people coming up,
Agreed.
they're not equipped to handle that. And
Agreed.
sometimes they see it and they think, "Oh, this is real life." No, it's not. This is supposed to be entertainment, but they don't know how to
Mm-hmm.
handle that. And they take it
Mm,
into their real lives, and it can be detrimental at times,
mm.
unfortunately.
Uh,
But it could
yeah,
also
it's,
be a positive thing if you're showing something positive. There's lots of positive TV and film that we see, and I feel like that influences people in a positive way. So yeah, I think both.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's hard. It's definitely hard with the positive side. It seems like we've been so desensitized to things where we don't even recognize positivity anymore. Or if we
Right.
do, it makes people uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And we'd rather be doing the negative things because that's what everybody else is doing. So it makes us comfortable in doing it. And I
Yeah.
really agree with you. And I get that disconnect. I don't know
Hmm.
where that disconnect lies. How, as parents, in today's world, because then we have all of these running
Yeah.
around. Uh,
Yeah.
Kids are living on those. I just don't know. I mean, I grew up as a movie kid,
Uh-huh.
so that time was always I don't want to say an escape, but your imagination can run wild, and you can really see things through a different lens. And I'm
Hmm.
curious then too, like for you, like when you're picking maybe let's say your projects,
Hmm.
do you look for certain elements, maybe in a storyline or in a particular character that like you said, because you like to build from within yourself, you pull from yourself. Is that something that really means a lot to you when you're picking maybe a job or selecting work to work on, for you?
Yes, I mean, sometimes I do like to choose characters that's outside of myself because it's fun,
Mm,
but I also like roles that relate to me as well. And I also don't. I have a limitation to what roles I'll accept.
hmm.
Morally, there's just certain roles
Oh,
I
okay.
just won't do because I don't want to influence people in a very negative way. So it's
Gotcha.
not all about money for me.
Hmm.
It's about what I'm putting out into the world. So yeah.
You know that I know we're coming to that, but that's a challenging question, right? Like, because some actors, or like my wife and I, we used to laugh, uh,
Mhm.
like Wesley Snipes per
Mhm.
se. Not Wesley. There's nothing just an example. It,
Yeah.
we used to think that early on in his days there was always like some type of naked scene or some type of sex scene, you
Mhm.
know, stripped down scene uh
Mhm.
in a movie. And it's
Mhm.
interesting as you say, like, though that's a moral choice and a moral value.
Right.
Um, that comes with your success too, though, right? Like, does that? And again, I'm only asking this because you're more in the industry than, and I'm just curious to know, like, does that pressure
Mhm.
start to weigh on you, like, the more that you're advancing? Because, like, from where you are to where you've come to where you are now, and as you advance, you think that's going to become more of a pressure? Like, come on, April,
Not
it's just
not
the
not
X, Y,
for me.
Z.
Yeah,
Okay,
not for me personally. I've turned down some pretty big auditions,
wow,
uh, that I because it's if it doesn't make me feel good
okay,
inside,
got
it's
you.
not worth it for me.
I love
And
that.
this is no judgment on anybody for whatever roles
Right,
they you know what I'm saying?
right.
It just has to make you feel right.
Mm,
And so my goal as an actor has never been to be a superstar.
got you.
If it happens,
Okay.
fine.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
But it's never been that because I've never had a by any means necessary
Mental.
personality.
Got
You
you.
know what I'm saying? So I just want to do what I love to do and impact people in a positive way by doing it. And I
Well,
love to
that's
make those coins while doing it.
I know, and look, and that's what I love it because you can hear and see the humility and the groundedness, if you will. You know, you're
Mhm.
very grounded in who you are, and that's beautiful. And may you continue to stay that way, and from your mouth to God's ears, put those coins and put that money in the bag for you. Yeah, that's right. Keep it going, keep that success going. And look, this has been, an amazing conversation. As we come to the end, I'll be remiss without asking, you know, April, what do you have next that maybe you can talk about that
Okay.
we should be paying attention to, be looking for from April Hale?
Okay. Well, what I have coming up next, well, first I have another Lifetime movie that will be coming out this year that I wrapped up in early March.
Okay.
Tentative title is Cheating Moms, but I think the title will be changed.
Okay.
So that'll be coming out this year. But I also just wrapped a movie just recently. They actually are wrapping today. My character already wrapped, but they just finally are wrapping today, and it's a horror.
All right.
Uh, yeah, it's called Stay Out, and it will be out, I hear, in June on BET Plus.
Okay.
Be looking out for that.
We sure will.
I'm really excited for that one. Yeah, yeah, because I like horror movies. I like horror, like sci-fi, anything like that. But and so it was
Okay.
like really fun. This character was really fun. So yeah, so the lead in that movie is Kareem Grimes, great actor, great guy. So yeah, so be looking out for that on BET Plus.
Well, look, we're going to make sure that we try to add that in the notes, and we're going to keep that and share that for our followers. We're
Mhm.
also going to allow you to take a moment. Please share, any social media information that you like. I want to make sure that we put that out in the show notes as well. We want to go ahead, man, get your support and followers out there, man, because I think you're an amazing actress, and I
Thank
and
you
I want
so much.
everyone else to follow along and watch you continue to grow.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, you can follow me on IG at I am April Hale, and my Facebook is just April Hale. I have a Twitter. I don't really use it, so yeah.
Okay. Well, we will drop all of that in the show notes. April, thank you again.
Mhm.
It's
Thank you.
been of course, it's my honor and pleasure to have you sit here and take time out. If there's anything or you want to come back, this is your home too. Now we'd love to be able to go ahead and talk some more, some of your new projects when they come out,
I
and
love
talk
it.
about those. You're more than welcome anytime, sis. Continued success to you and everything that you're doing from your mouth to God's ears. Seriously, you're a shining light in our community, and a true blessing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for
Oh,
having me. It's a blessing to be on
oh,
this show.
thank you so much. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your man, Dame DNYDC. You can follow Two Mics Up across all our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. This is season 5, y'all. We are on Mogul TV Global Network. Make sure you go ahead and head over to Mogul TV. It's on your Amazon and Roku devices. Check out Two Mics Up. And like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen, may you stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out. 007.